All right, all right. Hello, everybody. Happy New Year. Hey, Bill, how's it going?
Ian, hi. Happy New Year. Thanks for having me.
Great, great. Hope you're having a great holidays and everything. Thanks everybody for tuning in. 2019 is almost over. We have a few more days until we're into 2020. So we said, why not do a live stream focused purely on 2020 and any predictions, any thoughts and comments we have and other people have as well on 2020 for crypto. All of us think 2020 is going to be very, very optimistic for crypto. Maybe not so much for other financial markets, but stay tuned. We'll be covering that today. So on the agenda, we'll do quick intros and shout outs. So I see we have Dragon Ball Crypto. Thanks for joining. What's up? BTC Motivation, King Nick. Hey, what's up? How are you? Thanks for joining. So Bill, prior to us kind of delving into that. So on the agenda today, once again, we mentioned 2020 crypto outlook, and then the segment is back, crypto therapy. We'll cover Bitcoin, Ethereum, and alts. They seem to be trending towards bullish. So lots of people are asking, have we bottomed? Stay tuned. We'll give you an official answer, not financial advice. And then we'll also cover our top 5 cryptos of the week based on tokenmetrics.com. With that being said, if you've not signed up for tokenmetrics.com, I highly encourage you to go to tokenmetrics.com, use the coupon code CryptoFamily, that's one word, CryptoFamily, all caps, to get 10% off. Want to make sure to tell everybody that we do plan to take away or decrease the discount. So the discount won't be there anymore in 2020. We're not sure exactly when, maybe January, maybe later. So if you've not signed up, we definitely recommend you do it before the discount is removed. Once again, for anybody who subscribes to tokenmetrics.com, we're giving away a 50% discount on all annual plans. So that's not going to be there forever and ever. That's almost over, especially with the basic plan, the free plan. If you haven't signed up for that, that's closing up shop very soon. Also recommend you go to tokenmetrics.com/ebook to download our ebook on how to leverage token metrics and machine learning to become a better investor. This is a free guide for anybody out there who's curious about token metrics. I highly encourage you to download this free guide to learn more on how to use token metrics and the story of token metrics and why we built it. So we cover the emerging trends of investing, why robo-advisors are the future of investing, and where crypto is headed as investors and the roadmap for token metrics. All right, with that being said, let's hop into it. Bill, give us a quick intro on yourself.
I've been in financial markets for a long time. I started in 1991 as an 18-year-old. All throughout my career, I've been the guy who everyone goes to for charts when markets are volatile. So, I did well at Goldman Sachs for over a decade, through 2008. And I've done this at various firms. I got my crypto degree from Professor Charlie Shrem. And people seem to like my work in crypto because in crypto, it's a crisis every day relative to other markets. So,
very, very true. All right, thanks for that, Bill. I'm Ian Billina, founder of Tokenmetrics. I'm a blockchain investor, been involved in crypto space for over 3 years now, full time. I love it. Prior to that, I was working at IBM in data and analytics, working at IBM Analytics, IBM Watson, working as a sales executive and also as a technical sales engineer. Also worked as an IT consultant at Deloitte Consulting, one of the biggest consulting firms in the world. And my background is in computer engineering. So people always ask, what is computer engineering? And I say it's half computer science, half electrical engineering. But the crazy thing is, never really used it after I graduated. I went straight into just working for IBM and Deloitte and then into crypto. But I think it taught me how to think like an engineer. And that always stays with me, even when I'm working as a crypto investor, because I approached everything from an engineer perspective. That's why I love data analytics. And to us, it made sense to bring in the machine learning to build this platform. All right. So with that being said, the crypto space seems to be evolving very, very quickly. 2020 is right around the corner. So the question on our mind is, what's the outlook in crypto for 2020? So actually, sorry, prior to that, we do have a question of the day. I see some people have already begun to answer the question. So please go to minty.com That's MENTI.com. Use the code 150037. That's 150037. And the question of the day is, do you think 2020 will be a recession? Let us know. Also tell us in the comments as well whether you think we'll be in a recession in 2020. Yes, no, not sure. The votes are coming in. With that being said, Bill, what's your take on this question? Do you think we're headed towards a recession?
I don't think we're headed towards a recession. I think that's 2020 recession has been the consensus since the tax cuts went through. Okay, so for 3 years, everyone's saying, oh, there's going to be a huge hangover in 2020. Now, I don't think there's going to be a recession. I think there's more risk of what they would call kind of a flash crash. Like, all right, now if you want me to go into details on that, I will, but
yeah, please do.
Okay. So everyone on our show who's into alts knows what happened to Matic, right? Matic was going up. Everyone liked it. Everyone liked it for a good reason. And then it was just a 50% markdown like a department store. And then they reset, started trading again. Well, if all the things that everyone out there is talking about, which we'll go over, I guess, comes to pass, like a recession or a debt bubble blow up, well, that's not going to take very long to get priced into financial markets. It's not going to take 3 months when everyone goes, gee, we've got too much debt. Gee, we've printed too much money. Gee, our politicians are not that smart. So if that moment does occur, everyone else out there is going to learn what it's like to be in crypto. They're going to wake up and they're going to have their portfolio marked down 35% in one day. So that's how I would see if there's going to be a negative event in 2020. That's how I would see playing out.
So you're saying it's a flash crash because it will bounce back very quickly?
No, it's more like a flash crash in a sense that it just sort of like resets itself, right? It's almost like rebooting your computer. They would reboot the system. There would be a shock. The system would be rebooted, and that the price of assets would just go from being up here to just being down here. And then we would start trading again.
Okay. So it won't really be quite a recession. Now, I think the technical definition for recession is what, 2 years in a row? 2 quarters in a row of declining GDP?
Right. I think, I'm not an economist, but I believe it's something like 2 consecutive quarters of negative GDP.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I'm not quite sure on the US GDP for this quarter or last quarter. But I mean, okay, so as you mentioned, lots of people have been clamoring for a recession to a point where if it's the consensus, then they're probably wrong, because not everybody is that smart.
Right. Or I'm going to take a little risk. I'm going to take a little risk. So the US economy is probably about 14 or 15 trillion dollars in GDP every year. Okay. And would you know it, that the stock market is probably somewhere in the neighborhood of 14 to 15 trillion. So I have a really smart friend. You know what he says? He says the stock market is the economy. Okay. It just is, right? When the stock market's going up, everyone's happy. When it's going down, everyone's upset. So rather than talk about GDP or what's going to happen with economic growth, it's really all about what's going to happen with the stock market. And, the one thing that no one's talking about for 2020 is, yes, they talk about all the problems, but no one talks about how it manifests. Well, we in crypto know how it manifests while you're sleeping overnight in one day, right? So that's what I'm thinking, right? It's not necessarily a markdown in economic growth. It may be a markdown in asset price. Now, of course, that's going to affect how much, wealthy people spend. I'm not saying it doesn't have economic impact, but I'm saying if there's an event, it's going to be stock market specific and probably gold positive.
Okay, very interesting. So I just did a quick search here. This is from BEA.gov. So this is showing third quarter, because obviously fourth quarter is not finished yet, the real GDP percent change from the preceding quarter. And I'm seeing here, it went up in Q1 2019, went down, then Q3 kind of went up. So we're not quite in a recession yet. So, but why do you think people keep on saying recession is coming? Because recently I was watching this video by this person talking about ETFs and how a coming ETF implosion is coming, similar to the last crash, because there's this whole debt crisis. They're calling it debt crisis 2.0, where there isn't really liquidity, and all these funds and pension funds have been buying up index funds, and these index funds have been bought up to a point where the pricing is not, there is no actual price discovery, to a point where they become very illiquid and eventually will end up crashing. Why do you think this is being said right now in the media?
Okay, so let me rephrase the question. Why is everyone so down in the mouth about 2020? Right? Why is everybody looking for a debt blow up? Well, I think there's two reasons. One is we do have a lot of debt, and the stock market has been ridiculous in the fourth quarter, right? So as the stock market has gone up and up and up, everyone is going kind of like trying to take the other side of it, going, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, right? Because I mean, it's not a very imaginative 2020 forecast if you go, oh yeah, everything's going to be great, just like it is right now, right? Who wants to listen to that? I want to take a big, right? No one wants to listen to that. All right. So I also think the other reason is just to be honest, is that we've got an election coming up, and America is a nation of very rich people and people who are struggling to make it, right? There's really almost nobody in the middle. So I think it's very easy to get uneasy about all those people who may not be making it, may outnumber the people who are sitting pretty. Okay. So that is definitely something that is leading people to say things are going to change in 2020. They phrase it differently. They won't call it out for what it is, but I just think that human element of surprise is there.
Now, I mean, I'll add to that. So we have all these big, think of it as influencers on Wall Street, from Ray Dalio to now Michael Burry from The Big Short. They all seem to be very, very negative. So how does the average investor balance their opinions or sentiment with those of everybody else? Because not everybody can be right. Then they see credible names like Ray Dalio, Michael Burry talking about this, and they're saying, these guys, they're doing this full time. This is their job. Should we follow them? So how does the average investor kind of balance that sentiment?
Okay. Well, that's a great question. So the first thing the average investor can do is be diversified, right? So not have all your money in any one thing, right? So this is talking to like the equities investors who know this. You know, it's been really easy to ride tech stocks. So, you know, the second thing is, and crypto investors are aware of this, just don't be a pig. If you've invested in something like tech stocks and you've made a ton of money, take the money. You know, if you look at your P&L and go, you know, wow, I made a lot of money on this trade. It's probably going to go down 5 seconds later. You know what I'm saying? Take the money. Your intuition is better than you think it is. Now, in terms of what these big guys are saying, yeah, I think people should listen. But I think only the crypto audience can imagine how these things might manifest. Like if they did appear, what would they look like? This is what I don't hear anybody talking about this. Now in crypto, we know exactly how it appears. You wake up one day and it disappears, right?
Right.
So no one's talking about, you know, 3 limit down openings in the S&P 500. And we have like our 1 week event because, I don't know, shots get fired in the Middle East, or, you know, polls come out showing, you know, Bernie Sanders is going to take the Democratic nomination by a lot. You know, is that information going to come out tomorrow? No, I don't think so. But we got to start imagining what can bring on. Like when Ray Dalio says something bad's going to happen, you can say, well, gee, what might that look like? And you might say, well, if I woke up and my portfolio was down 40% in one day, could I live with that? Right. Now, a lot of people say yes, and then it goes down 10% and they're at the bar. So,
Cryptotherapy.
cryptotherapy. Right. So, if you've got profits in a trade,
take the profits,
take the money. Yeah. Take the money.
I fully agree. I mean, because that's really the whole point of modern portfolio theory and rebalancing your portfolio, because it forces you to take profits from your winners and buy the bottom on underperforming assets. So that's why I think robo-advisors are really the future of investing, because they remove the emotions of cryptocurrency investing and also investing in regular markets. That's why robo-advisors like Betterment, Wealthfront, and Vanguard have done so well, because the emotions that come in investing and trading, most humans cannot really manage them, and machines can manage them a lot better, and more importantly, make more money possibly, and also help mitigate the risk and losses in investing or trading. So that's why we're kind of bringing a data-driven approach to token metrics with crypto investing, and we think it's something every investor should have, because sometimes it's very tough, because we've seen this happen in 2017. It was very tough for people to take profits. I know people who held cryptocurrencies from 1x all the way to 100x back to 1x and ended up losing money because they didn't take profits. And it's something that can be very, very, very frustrating for even smart people, not just newbies, but even smart people. Sometimes it's tough for them to take profits because there's always hope. All right. Our friend Miho says hope dies last. So basically meaning that hope is the last thing to go after a price has crashed, because people always have hope that this thing could recover, it could bounce back. And we think taking profits is healthy. Nobody ever lost money taking profits, is the old adage. Now, Bill, tell us about CDOs. What's your take on this? Because the Big Short's Michael Burry is basically saying passive funds are at risk. There's a systemic risk that this bubble could pop. What's your take on this?
Okay, well, so let's start at the big picture level, right? It's very tempting if you are famous for making a call on sort of a huge event like 2008 to want to do the same thing all over again. It's human nature, right? Mm-hmm. Now, a CDO, well, what is that? Okay, well, if you and everyone in your neighborhood borrowed money and you write checks, little interest and principal payments, Wall Street people figure out how to turn those little checks that you write almost into securities. So the more debt that gets created, the more securities can be created. And if they start lending money to people who don't have good credit and they start defaulting, then the securities, that those little IOUs are made up of, they start to blow up too. That's what happened in 2008. The little guy defaulted and then the big guy blew up. Let's put it that way. So do I think that particular scenario would happen again? And my answer to that is, hell no. Okay. Any hint of that happening again, every central bank on the planet is going to come in and go, okay, everybody, time out. We're just going to take it all down. Thank you. You got $1 trillion. That's no good. We'll take it.
Hold on. So what exactly does that mean?
That means
take it down.
That means, I'm sorry, take it down means if there was $1 trillion in bad debt that was going to blow up the world, the central banks of the world would print $1 trillion and just go buy the debt in the open market and put it on their balance sheet. Sorry.
Okay. So basically they'll print more fiat.
Yeah. They would just print fiat. They would not let another instrument like a CDO to blow up the whole economy. Matter of fact, it's already happening the central banks are getting proactive. I mean, if you look at what's gone on in stocks in December, in November, the central banks are like, oh yeah, Ray Dalio's forecast. Yeah, we read that. Here's the print button. Boom. Oh wait, look, there's another print button. Boom. It says boom, boom, boom. You know, they are not going to let that happen. That's
Now,
why
that possibly lead to inflation, correct? Because
well,
as they print more currencies or more fiat, the currencies become devalued and worthless pretty much.
okay, well, what it's led to is asset price inflation so far. The economics textbook says it could lead to, you know, a gallon of milk could go up in price.
Mhm.
Okay. You know, what I think it's going to lead to is, frankly, inflation in what I call other currencies, right? In other words, people are going to start chasing gold, silver. Okay. Who knows? The chase could be on. It could be Ethereum next. Okay. It's like, it's not an official price prediction or investment
That's
advice.
possible because if inflation comes into all the other global currencies, my prediction is the dollar will probably be the least hit because they have more resources to print and it's the world's reserve currency. But the smaller currencies, kind of like what happened with the Zimbabwe dollar or with the Turkish lira and with Argentine peso, all the other emerging markets, the currencies will become even more devalued. And as you mentioned, I think that's pro crypto, pro Bitcoin, pro stable coins even, because why take the currency risk when you can just store your life savings in the DAI or in Tether or some other cryptocurrency that's supposedly more stable. So I think this could really be almost a stablecoin revolution.
Right. In other words, there could be inflation. And my question would be inflation of what? Groceries, rent, healthcare. I mean, we've already got that. They just don't tell the truth about it. But what I think could happen is if there's a flash event in equities, everybody could all of a sudden go, okay, you know, I want different forms of money.
Okay. All right. So quick question here from Ivan. He's saying, but the market is being propped up by corporations buying back their stock. How long can this last before it crashes? A year or less, maybe more? Very good question.
Yeah, it's a great question. So just to provide some color, here's how the game works. Central banks know that there's a debt problem. They print money. It gets pushed into the system. Stocks float higher. Corporations join in by buying their stock back. And then insiders, the CEOs who get compensated in the stock, sell as much of the stock as they can into the artificially rallying market. So why did I just tell you that whole story? Well, it ends when somebody like a politician or a scandal, somebody gets caught, you know, or it becomes obvious that, you know, CEOs are selling stocks of companies that are rising and then quitting and saying, have a nice day. And then the stock falls, right? It'll continue until somebody gets embarrassed by the fact that it's happening because it really is blatant. They're buying back the stock and the insiders are selling it at the same time.
All right. So let's go to our question of the day. Do you think 2020 will be a recession? Most people are saying no. A very overwhelming response. And I think based on what you said, Bill, I think I definitely have to agree with that. I think based on what everybody's saying, 2020 will have, as you mentioned, a flash crash and maybe inflation, which is pro crypto in our opinion. And we think long term, though, no recession in 2020. All right. Any thoughts on that, Bill?
Yeah, I think we leave the economics to the economists, leave GDP. I mean, we're crypto guys.
Very true.
Right. So we'll let them do the growth outlook and we'll stick with markets. Right.
All right. So we have some other topics here to cover. Which ones do you want to hit first? We kind of covered, I think, central banks, but do you want to talk about that again?
Right. Well, I mean, central banks are running the printing press, right? And we know that a lot of people are talking about debt crisis 2.0, right? And that's, that's backed up by numbers and smart people. So, I'm not dissing that, but what the trade is off that is not clear. So the next bullet is why gold is our friend. Um, gold, everyone has been waiting for gold to take off since 2011, right? The gold bugs were really feeling it. And then they've been sitting here in the doldrums, just waiting, and it'll go up and it'll go down. I mean, in some ways it's worse than Ethereum for these guys. They've just been waiting and waiting. All right. So if gold got going, right? If people just looked at the stock market and went, you know what? Enough. I'm going to put my money in a shiny rock. I think that helps crypto. Jim Rickards is a famous he's a famous gold guy. He's a famous currency fiat researcher, basically a pioneer in the field. Hates crypto, just hates it. And I've always said that in crypto, we don't hate the gold guys. We like the gold guys because if gold goes up, it means alternative money's back. And I'm bringing this up because you're probably sitting at home going, gee, should I buy Bitcoin at 7,200? Mm-hmm. I think the signal to start buying Bitcoin is when gold and silver start ripping, right? When you see that, they're going to go first and then crypto is going to follow, right? Because the thing about gold and silver is they are investments, but you can't buy anything with them, right? Everyone forgets that about cryptocurrency, right? You can invest it, trade it, make yourself sick to your stomach, but you can also buy things with it, right? So the day that somebody says, you know what, I think I want a different kind of money, they're going to want to be able to spend it. So something to think about.
Okay. Next question. Would you buy any altcoins? What do you mean by this, Bill?
Well, I think when we were talking, I think it was like, would you buy something with an altcoin? So if Amazon started taking Cosmos tomorrow, would you buy something tangible with your altcoin, or would you keep it just as a spec investment?
Okay.
And I'm trying.
Go ahead.
And I'm just trying to bend people's mind around to the fact that, one day there are going to be altcoins that are going to be used to buy something. It's not going to be just Bitcoin and Ethereum. So it's like food for thought on sort of a holiday time when you can sit back and, you can think a little bit. It doesn't have to be, okay, where's Bitcoin going to be like tomorrow?
Right. Now that kind of pivots into our next question of the day. Once again, go to menti.com, menti.com, and use the code 150037. That's 150037. The question is, what would you buy with Bitcoin? We have cars, groceries, a fancy watch, vacation, TV, electronics, and plastic surgery. All right. So far, most people are saying they would buy a car with their Bitcoin. It kind of makes sense. I'm surprised somebody actually said they would buy groceries with Bitcoin.
Because so we were debating that before the show, whether or not to.
Oh, wow. Two people. Oh, okay.
So you know what? I'm going to tell you what you should do with this. When this is over, if you can, we should screenshot this. And I'm going to tell you why. Mm-hmm. People are into crypto because they need a currency that makes their life better, right? They need something where the unit that they get paid in, or the unit that they have, covers rent, car, groceries. The dollar hasn't been cutting it for years, right? Years. Ray Dalio, these guys are all smart, but telling me there's a crisis coming tomorrow is interesting, because like the guys who want to use crypto for staples, they're like, dude, I got a problem now. And this, I think, is the power of crypto. This is the power of crypto right here in this slide. I need a currency that makes my life better. A car gets you to and from a job, gets you to and from a date, gets you to your parents' house, etc. Right? It makes your life better.
Now, for me, if I had to choose something on here, I would probably say vacation, electronics, or even fancy watch. Now, that's mainly because I gave up my car a long time ago to just Uber everywhere. So to me, a car is not that important anymore. But I'm also self-employed and I work at home. So I don't really travel much nowadays unless I'm going to the airport to fly out somewhere else. But very, very, very interesting. I mean, I was surprised about groceries because groceries aren't so expensive versus a car or maybe even like a vacation. And I would think people wouldn't want to be that guy who bought pizza with their Bitcoin. And those Bitcoins ended up being worth now, I don't know what, millions and millions of dollars. So I would think people would be more inclined to make larger purchases with a Bitcoin to kind of justify it. But very interesting, very, very interesting. Okay, yeah, I'm seeing fancy watches is number 2. All right, so with that being said, time for crypto therapy. All right, so this is the segment where we take care of all your crypto questions. We know investing in crypto is very, very volatile, very emotional. Sometimes it's good to kind of talk through our emotions, whether euphoria or whether just depression, whatever emotions you may have, we're here to cover them. So Bill, let's hop into talking about Bitcoin.
All right, so I'm going to share my screen.
Okay.
Okay, so let's take a second. Let's take a second to talk about Bitcoin. So when we go to token metrics on Bitcoin,
That was the first one. Yeah, there you go.
Okay. All right. So when we go to token metrics on Bitcoin, what we're going to see in the price prediction section is that, if we slide down here and if you look on the left-hand side, Jan 17, the model kind of hints that Bitcoin's going to be at 6,400. That's a hint, right? So that's not exactly constructive, right? And then continuing on the subject of cryptotherapy, we have Ethereum, okay, which unbelievably token metrics had going up. Matter of fact, up until today, Ethereum wasn't even in the range predicted by token metrics currently until it went up 8%, amazingly.
Wow.
So
yeah,
token metrics was cautious.
Increase for Ethereum because a few weeks ago it was at 70%. So the model is improving on Ethereum.
Right. And I looked at this and I'm like, the machine learning guys think, cautious Bitcoin, but Ethereum is 10% undervalued. And then Ethereum pops up 10% on a holiday when no one's looking. And I would say that's enough to constitute cryptotherapy, because now everyone's going, well, oh my God, does that mean it's a bottom? Here's my answer before you ask. Here's my answer. In legacy markets, everything that happens at the end of the year, just ignore it. It's people squaring up positions. It's bad shorts covering, bad long selling. Everyone is just trying to square up their books. And you don't know whether or not it's a bottom or a top until like maybe after the second week of January. Okay. That said, frankly, love to see Ether going up.
All right. Well said. Well said.
All right. And then I think if you go to the charts, all right, there's not a lot going on here on the charts. Okay. But in Ether, it's kind of hopeful, right? Like the rally in February started over here at 125. If you look right here, Ethereum hit the bottom of like a square, a parallel channel, and it bounced. It held, it sat down there, and of course, in typical Ethereum fashion, bored everyone to tears or made it look awful, and then it decided to bounce. So I would call this a very hopeful chart, right? It's the holidays, a little hope is okay. It'd also be nice, we saw a December top in Bitcoin in 2017, and it'd be really nice if we just saw a December bottom. Markets do love symmetry. Well, so I don't want to serve Kool-Aid in big cups, but there's something to be hopeful here.
I think that's great. Being able to be hopeful as we go into 2020. Nobody likes to start the year off with blood in the streets. So
no. It's, you know what, Ian, if we're doing the therapy part, it's exhausting. Like getting up and having to say crypto's going down. It's like, I don't know.
All right.
I mean, if you're right, that's great. That's our job, but saying it stinks.
Yes, it does. All right. So next segment, time for us to share with you the top overall cryptocurrencies according to Token Metrics. So let me just pull up the screen here. Once again, go to tokenmetrics.com, create an account if you haven't done so already. We'll be closing the discounts very, very soon, lifetime discounts. So congratulations to anybody who's locked in their lifetime discount to any of the plans. All right, so based on Token Metrics ratings, the top cryptocurrencies, as I pull them up here, based on grades. So top 5, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Blockstack. Actually, this is very interesting. Hold up. So last week we had Ethereum over Bitcoin. Now Bitcoin has surpassed Ethereum again. I think that's the beauty in having our system like we do, where it's real time. It's constantly changing and updating. So the top cryptocurrencies right now, obviously not financial advice, just our opinion: Bitcoin, Ethereum, Blockstack, Dash, and Zcash. But very interesting here. Going to the next 5, we have Binance, Eternity, Matic Network has now cracked the top 10. So Token Metrics thinks Matic now is getting better, because when it had the flash crash, it was outside the top 10. But now maybe possible bottom, maybe not quite there. Here I see the TA is neutral on it. I think it was bullish a few days ago, so maybe it's kind of trending down. Then Maker and 0x. So very, very interesting. If we go here looking at just purely the TA, we can see lots of cryptocurrencies Token Metrics is bullish on from a TA perspective. People have been asking us what time frame the TA is. The TA is based on a weekly time frame. So it's not daily, it's not hourly or monthly, it's weekly. We'll do a better job. It should say it here. Yeah, if you go here. Now people also ask, what's the difference between TA trend and this one? It's basically the same thing. One is just kind of a simpler way for people who don't want to look at the score. But basically we have different trends. We have buy, bullish, neutral, bearish, and sell. And right now, these are the cryptocurrencies Token Metrics is bullish on based on the weekly TA. If we go purely just looking at the fundamentals, we have Bitcoin, pretty much the same list as last week: Bitcoin, Ethereum, Holo, Monero, Zcash, Dash, BAT, Decred, Cosmos. But very interesting, we did add new cryptocurrencies to our system here. So for those on the platform, be sure to check out the IEO section. We added Helium. Helium is creating a worldwide wireless internet. And if you want to check out the score, go to our site and check that out. We also added Casper Labs, Sovereign, and some others. Also Hex as well. So if you want to read the official scores for that, go to tokenmetrics.com. All right, well, I mean, that's really concludes the rankings. Pretty much not much movement. Once again, Blockstack has been added. Blockstack is a project we're bullish on, based on the fundamentals, the code reviews, the technicals are always changing. Right now, some of the data is not correct because it's wrong on CoinMarketCap, and that's an issue the Blockstack team has been trying to correct. So once that gets updated, then it will also update on our end. All right. So with that being said, if you have any questions, go to menti.com, MENTIA.com, and use the code 150037. Send in your questions, and we'll answer them. All right, Bill, anything else you want to cover before we kind of hop into questions?
No, let's take their questions.
All right, so first question we have here is, if we're an early subscriber to Token Metrics and in the future want to move up to the next plan, will we be given any deals for this? Very good question. I would say contact customer support. If you've locked in, let's say you're on the basic plan, and in 1 or 2 months you want to go into the investor plan, hardware plan, or even the professional plan, yes, we will give you a discount, but that's only if you've locked in your account right now. So that if you've not signed up for an account right now, don't expect to come in later and still have that discount. But if you're an early subscriber, then yes, we'll take care of you. Crypto family, once again, that's lifetime discount. So yes, we'll take care of you. Very, very good question. Okay, next question. Part of crypto therapy. When will alt season return? What's your take on this, Bill?
All right. Well, so at Token Metrics, I've gotten an extensive education on altcoins, right? And I've learned it's been a humble experience to learn which ones are good, which ones are not good, ratings. Like I've learned with Token Metrics as our audience have. When will alt season return? I would say never.
I don't think that's the answer they wanted.
I know. That's not what they want to hear. But wait, folks, don't tune out. Don't YouTube dip me. Wait, hold on. What's going to happen is there are going to be some alts that are going to win, right? In other words, in 2001, everything that was .com related went up no matter what. But then in 2015 or 2014, it was Facebook, Google. It was a handful of companies that led the way, right? This time around, alt season will be different. It won't be a casino where you just throw a dart at a dartboard and it goes up 10x. There'll be 5 coins that go up 30x. That's the new definition of alt season. So I'm sorry about that. If you dropped your handheld device when I said that,
now,
don't get upset.
That part I definitely do agree with. Me personally, I don't think alts are dead. People keep saying alts are dead, but I think markets move in cycles, and markets will constantly go up and down. They'll have boom and bust cycles, because for alts to be dead, that means crypto is dead, because I don't really envision a world where just Bitcoin exists. Otherwise, what are we doing this for? What is Ethereum for? Because Ethereum is doing so much in the blockchain ecosystem with DeFi, decentralized finance, lending, with fungible tokens. I mean, the entire world and ecosystem we're in right now for crypto depends on the success of altcoins, which I don't think people really get, because cryptocurrencies are the underlying mechanism that makes all this work for everything we're building. Not just Ethereum, but everything being built on Ethereum right now is going to, for the most part, has some form of token. So if we say all alts are dead, that inherently means Ethereum is dead. And I don't think Ethereum is dead. Ethereum has so much potential, so much growth. So me looking out 5-10 years from now, I'm even more bullish on alts. That's why we built Token Metrics, because yes, it's tougher for alts to go on wild rides to 100x's in 4 months. That might be dead. But I think the evolution of that is alts might go up 100x over 4 years as opposed to 4 months. So I think just the patience has to be there for any alt investors. And I think long-term looking at alts, I'm still positive. I'm still very, very optimistic. Now, the same alts that went up last time won't be the ones that go up, because if you look at the last bull runs, there's a constant musical chairs of alts. The top 20 in market cap last year and 2 years before that and 5 years before that have always been changing. You've had products like Mastercoin and others, and Coin and others. Stratus, for example, back in early 2017, Stratus was a top 20 market cap cryptocurrency. And I made a killing in Stratus. I got in early around like 10 cents, 30 cents. Stratus went all the way to $10, $12. This was a coin trading on exchanges on Poloniex. Then after the Bitcoin fork, Stratus crashed. And last time I looked, Stratus has been outside the top 100 for like forever. So similar to what you mentioned with the dot-com bubble, that crashed, but that didn't mean that internet stocks or technology stocks would never do well. There are still lots of big winners: Amazon, Google, Netflix. There are just fewer, I would say. There are fewer big wins, but those who got into Netflix, for example, had over 500x returns on their money. And even to this day, there's still good stocks, still good internet stocks that are making money and profitable and have had good returns, like Tesla. Tesla has done amazing. So I think the same thing is going to happen with crypto and altcoins. And I think really the new 100x would be derivatives and possibly leverage, but that's very, very risky. And that's something I encourage any newbie or even average investor to partake in. That's kind of my take on that. All right. Next question here. What altcoins are you bullish on for 2020? Now, we kind of already answered this with our top 20, with our top 10 ratings on Token. So I would say definitely go to Token Metrics and check for that. So that's pretty much it for that. All right, this is a long one. I've been dying to ask this. What are your thoughts on projects that you and other crypto YouTubers were extremely bullish on? Mainframe, Loom, Chromia, Sol, etc. Has your opinion changed long term? Good question. So I would say our opinion has changed. Now our official opinions are what Token Metrics tells us. Let me see if we have any in here. Okay, we do have Mainframe in here. I don't think we've finished looking at this. Yes, we haven't finished grading most of these projects. So it is hard to officially share our thoughts on it. But I recommend, if you want us to review new tokens, just go to feedback.tokenmetrics.com, and our team goes through here, and this is where we take official submissions for tokens to review. So for example, so right now our team is looking at WeOwn, CHX, Loki, and Bolt based on submissions, and also MITX, Morpheus Labs. And last week we looked at Ferrum. Ferrum was added. We also added Constellation Labs, and we also added a few others as well. Let me see if I can. Yeah, so Ultra has been added as well. So I definitely recommend you go to Token Metrics and check out those ratings, like Ultra. Ultra had a partnership with AMD and some other company, but our team is not so bullish on it. It's actually very bearish. The tech and the fundamentals are not there for us. To read the official details, just go to tokenmetrics.com. But with that being said, I don't think all these projects we were bullish on last year. I mean, Mainframe and Loom were profitable, so can't really complain. Chromia and Sol. Solo, I'm not so sure anymore. Chromia, not so sure. I do still own some Chromia and Sol, and some Mainframe. But I would say overall, the market has changed. So as the market changes, we evolve as well. Because what worked in 2018 did not work in 2019. and what's working in 2019 will not work in 2020. So I would just say all of us are changing, and go to tokenmetrics.com to get the official reviews as we add them. All right. Have you heard of any of these coins, Bill? Mainframe, Loom, or Chromia, or Sol?
I have heard of Loom.
Okay.
I'm not that deep into the alt space. When I look at alts, I like to ask myself, will somebody ever use this to buy something? That's what I mean, the answer may be yes, maybe no, but I always like to check that because I'm always looking for the next Bitcoin or Ethereum when I look at alts.
Very well said. Next question here. Last one before Bill has to go, I believe. Recession equals crypto bear market.
Okay.
Good question. What do you think, Bill?
Okay, well, this is actually a great question because, our theme of at least what I've said today is there's always a twist. If there's a flash event in legacy markets, if everything gets marked down all at once, crypto could get included in that. Now, crypto may come ripping back, but I don't think if there's an event that is aligned with the warnings that we're getting from the Ray Dalios of the world, you don't know whether or not it could affect crypto. It could affect Bitcoin, right? Because Bitcoin is held now by institutions. So somebody was asking about alt season, maybe it's a type of a thing where, there's a flash event in just Bitcoin. I don't know. My crystal ball is in the shop. Right. So yes, if there's a markdown in legacy, there could be a markdown in crypto. And there could also be, and we've never talked about this, but there could also be like a changing of the guard in crypto where, I don't know, let's just say Litecoin and Bitcoin Cash get replaced by something on the market cap chart. Right.
Yeah.
So
I think it's very, very tough to predict. As you said, our crystal ball is in the shop, but we do have tokenmetrics.com.
Right.
The closest we get to having a crystal ball. But we haven't really seen anything like this before. So it's hard to predict because Bitcoin was born in the last financial crisis. So if we had a second one, we don't really have precedent because Bitcoin was never around when something like this was happening. And as you said, institutions could mark off and sell, dumping Bitcoin and crypto, or we have the other perspective. People could flock to Bitcoin and stablecoins as their store of value. Now, I think stablecoins have really been on the peak, on the up and up in 2019, but I could really see them go on a tear in 2019 because recently we've been hearing about lots of central banks saying that they can't ignore stablecoins anymore. Stablecoins are almost in a way the future. We heard the comments from the European Central Bank and some others. So I think be on the lookout for stablecoins. I think whatever is going to happen, stablecoins will have a big factor in it because if you are an institution or just even in some emerging market and your currency or your country is experiencing a recession, you want to go to a store of value, whether it's gold, whether it's Bitcoin, whether it's just a stable coin pegged to the US dollar or to a basket of assets. So I'm very, very bullish on stable coins and even stablecoin lending. So to me, that's something I'm definitely been looking more and more into because imagine you're looking to put money in cash for crypto. You can park it into stablecoin, lend that out at an 8% annualized rate, which could be a way to kind of hedge and protect yourself against inflation in whatever market you're in. So, I mean, basically, long story short, it's tough to predict. It's tough to say. I think both sides have good arguments, and we'll know more once or if it happens. All right. With that being said, any last words, Bill, before you have to head out?
Now, friends, We really appreciate you at Token Metrics. Every day I do something new and exciting with the site. So come join us. Whatever happens in 2020, you'll need the machines on your side. So we've got the machines and we've got the people, and we look forward to serving you next year.
All right. Thank you, Bill. And I'll see you in 2020. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, sir.
All right. Take care.
Just landed on the moon in a Lambo.
I have the Moon Lambo shirt too.
Taking pictures with the zoom.
Landed on the moon in a Lambo. Happy New Year, crypto world, crypto family. Let's go into 2020 strong. Man, we know the last few years have been rough. Congratulations if you made any money in 2019 or even 2018. The year is over. Time for us to go into 2020 strong. All right. So with that being said, let's find our edge. Let's answer any questions you may have. Once again, just go to menti.com, ask your questions there. Okay, just give me 1 second here. I have to find the screen I'm supposed to be sharing. All right, so next question. In a case of a drastic stock market decline in 2020, what are the odds that liquidity flows into cryptocurrencies versus real assets, real estate, physical gold, silver? That's kind of the question we answered earlier. Nobody knows. I mean, you have two schools. You have two schools of thoughts. You have people who believe that if there's a crash, nobody wants to put their money into risky assets like cryptocurrency. Nobody wants to put their money into altcoins. So altcoins will most likely will be wrecked, possibly. That's kind of the first school of thought. But then some people say that, hey, if let's say you have your money in Argentine peso, Turkish liras, Russian ruble, whatever, maybe you're better off putting your money in a store of value, in a real tangible store of value like Bitcoin. Or you could put your money in a stablecoin and get exposure to the US dollar. So I think it's a very, very tough question to answer. Let's do some research here and see if we can. So one thing I do want to know is, let's say global currencies, inflation rate. Let me see if I can find something on here. Okay, we got one here on Wikipedia. Then Statista. Let's see if we have any images here. Okay, we want something in the, within the past, let's say past month. Okay, this is China. Okay, sorry guys, I'm doing research here on the fly. Okay. Not today, Wikipedia, sorry. Okay, so this is the inflation rate for consumer prices. All right, this is the list I was looking for. Let's zoom in here. All right, so we have Venezuela, Zimbabwe, Argentina, Iran, South Sudan, Congo, Sudan, Angola. So if you're in one of these countries and the global recession comes, you gotta be out of your local currency. I mean, even if it's not there, you definitely wanna be out. So that's why Bitcoin is very huge in Argentina. And I keep mentioning that as an example, but even Zimbabwe. Now let's see where the other, any of the larger countries are. Let's go towards the end. Okay, so Saudi Arabia is negative. They have deflation. Japan, where's United States? United States, okay, 2.1. Yeah, so going back to your question, if there's a stock market decline in 2020, what are the odds that liquidity flows into crypto? If you're in one of these countries, back here at the, if you're in one of these countries, you're going to want to get out. You want to put your money in the dollar or some other currency that has a better rate than Venezuela, Zimbabwe, Argentina. So that's why it's very hard to say. So I think the emerging markets, money will flow to the dollar. And one way of getting exposure to that could be in stable coins, because it might be easier for you to just get your money and put that into a stable coin than going to your local bank and having to have them give you dollars. Because in some countries, they have restrictions, and some countries don't even let you convert your money to a dollar because they're trying to keep you in their local currency. So that's why I think it's very challenging to say. And we're not really in the prediction business per se when it comes to global economic trends. Real estate, I definitely do see. Early in the year, I was looking to move to Miami. I went there for about 4 months. I looked at some places to rent, but man, that over there, it's a bubble waiting to pop. So because they have so much inventory in Miami, this is just kind of my anecdotal experience. They have so much inventory there, but prices are so high because you have people in South American countries that are fleeing, basically the rich over there, and taking the money out of their local economies and putting it into real estate in America. So for example, if you're a rich person in Argentina, one way could be getting your money out of Argentina and buying real estate in Miami. So that's why there's so much inventory, but prices are so high because people are just buying up the prices. These overseas investors are coming to America in Miami, which is in Florida, buying up real estate and taking the price up because they don't care about the price. They're trying to escape this. If you're rich in Venezuela, you come and buy properties in Miami at 2x and not care about the price because you're escaping this inflation rate. So that's why it's very, very challenging. So if the stock market is going to decline in 2020, I think both could happen. And we would really be in unprecedented territory because on Wall Street, most people, I would say most funds, most institutional investors and pension funds would be fleeing the stock market, would also flee crypto. But on the other side, you have the other force of emerging markets and people from there fleeing their local currencies to put money possibly in stable coins or possibly in Bitcoin. So, I mean, I'm sorry, I can't answer the question directly because it's hard to say. But I would say look for both trends to happen. If Bitcoin stays positive, then everything would be pro for crypto. It would be beneficial for crypto. If Bitcoin cannot soldier the trend in a market decline, then I don't really see it being positive for crypto. All right, next question. What do you think about ETH 2.0? If they can achieve everything they've stated on their roadmap, what price do you see ETH in 10 years? Man, if Ethereum achieves everything they're planning to achieve with ETH 2.0, to the moon and beyond. Not financial advice. Now, we did do a note or report on Ethereum 2.0 for people subscribed to Token Metrics. So if you subscribe to it, we sent out a report on Ethereum about a week and a half ago, almost 2 weeks ago. This went out to everybody on the hardware plan and above. And overall, we're very, very bullish on Ethereum 2.0 because they're doing so many innovations. For example, it's going to be quantum resistant. Everybody's talking about how Bitcoin has a flaw because quantum computing, eventually when it does come about, because IBM and other companies have been building quantum computers, these computers down the road, whether 5-10 years in the future, will be able to crack very easily Bitcoin blockchains and other blockchains that are not quantum resistant. So the fact that Vitalik and Ethereum are now building a quantum proof, a quantum resistant blockchain that can mitigate itself against these attacks, that's huge. I mean, that really could be the catalyst to getting Ethereum to a larger market cap than Bitcoin. I mean, yes, I said it, Ethereum has the potential to, in my opinion, supplant Bitcoin because Bitcoin hasn't really been innovated upon in a while. And there isn't governance and there isn't really a central figure who can, or a central group that can really innovate. There's so much, that's the beauty and the power of Bitcoin, but it's also its biggest weakness. because it's fully decentralized, it's hard to come to consensus. We've seen these issues with Bitcoin forks. We had Bitcoin Cash, Bitcoin SV, Bitcoin whatever, Satoshi Vision, and others. Governance is a big problem for Bitcoin. It takes forever just to innovate and get something out. While with Ethereum, it's not really experiencing those governance issues. And you even have other challenges like Tezos, Cosmos, and others that are coming through. So yes, Bitcoin had first mover advantage and is the king of the hill right now. But I think in 10 years, Bitcoin might not be king of the hill. I mean, Ethereum 2.0 could really be the next evolution that displaces Bitcoin. So our team is very, very optimistic on it. If you read the report, let me know what you guys think, either by just emailing us back on the newsletter or just here in the comments below. All right, next question here. Do you think token sets or set protocol is a good tool for rebalancing? What other DeFi projects help with balancing a crypto portfolio? Okay, I've not heard of token sets or set protocol, so I will have to Google this very quickly. Set protocol. Okay. Token sets. This is very interesting. Token sets helps you easily manage your crypto, enhance your portfolio with automated asset management strategies. All right, very interesting. Sets are tokens with built-in asset management strategies. Automated rebalancing, 24-hour monitoring, no commitment. Smart rebalancing. Buy and hold, range bound. Okay, very interesting. I'll have to look more into this. Okay, so it seems to be the same site. So I can't really answer that, but in Tokenmetrics, we are also looking into building this functionality into Tokenmetrics. So if you go to our roadmap here, where was it? Robo-advisor, automated investing. This is something that's highly requested and is in the roadmap. For us, we're trying to do everything in a compliant fashion, so it's going to take some time. The idea is for us to become an SEC licensed and regulated robo investment advisor or registered investment advisor. So kind of like Betterment Wealth Fund, but for crypto, helping you build a portfolio and manage your portfolio. So the idea is, if you go into Tokenmetrics, for example, here in portfolio. So by the way, if you haven't yet already, I recommend you add your investments into Tokenmetrics portfolio so you can track the grade. We do plan to also put out investment alerts. So as you see here in the roadmap, that's one of the things that's requested, setting push notifications, telling you when your portfolio, when an asset in your portfolio has changed grade-wise. So for example, if the TA on Bitcoin or Binance or whatever coin you have in your portfolio changes from neutral to buy, sell, bullish, bearish, whatever, being able to send you emails, email alerts, or even web alerts or browser alerts telling you, hey, Bitcoin is crashing, time to sell, or hey, this is the dip, time to get in. So this is something that's being highly requested. So we do plan to work on that in Q1. But with the robo-advisor, the idea is to take everything we have here and then leverage the machine learning to recommend to you based on your investor profile. So based on your income, your risk profile, meaning that how much risk can you tolerate, your investment goals, your time horizon, taking all those different parameters and creating a portfolio for you based on that. And then helping you rebalance that on a specific period, whether weekly, monthly, quarterly, annually. That's something we do plan to build as well, because this is the future of investing. So I won't get too much into it, but if you go to our site and our resources, we kind of cover this, webinars where we talk about that, and also in our ebook. So for example, let me quickly just pull this up here. All this is at tokenmetrics.com. We have a 2-hour video where we go through and talk about why robo-advisors and active portfolio management specifically is the best strategy for crypto investing. So it's 2 hours long. Definitely recommend you watch that. And also, if you want the ebook version, just go here for that, because this is really the future, because crypto is volatile. Markets go up and down very, very fast, but in crypto, it's a lot faster. And not everybody has time to actively day trade. And not everybody wants to do that. So with active portfolio management, the whole premise is that you make a few trades once a year, anywhere from 3 to 8 trades, as Bill says. But so it's kind of in the middle between passive investing and being a trader, a day trader or swing trader. So for example, getting out of Bitcoin when you sent 19,000, getting out of it and going on the sidelines and buying back in at 3 or 5,000, for example. That's what an active portfolio trader would do. So that's something the average person needs to do, but doesn't have the time to do. So having a portfolio for you, or platform for you, whether us or some other platform that can manage your portfolio for you and rebalance for you at the right time, is the best strategy. And also, more importantly, it removes the emotions in investing, because it's very, very tough to sell Bitcoin at 19,000, or to sell Bitcoin at 14,000, or to sell Ethereum at 1,400. But if you're following active portfolio management theory, you take, when it's time to rebalance your portfolio and you see, wow, Bitcoin has gone to 19,000, the software says, okay, now's the time to take profits off the table. So it helps protect you against greed, against being greedy. So it helps you sell high and buy low, which is very tough when you're doing it yourself, because you have the emotions. Everybody says buy low, sell high, but nobody wants to buy when something is falling. When Bitcoin is going from 10,000 and has gone to 3,000, nobody wants to buy then, because they're thinking with their emotions. But if you have software that rebalances your portfolio for you, it can help automate that and takes away the emotions in investing. That's why I think it's something that's highly needed, and that's why we're also planning to build this out. Can you look at SNX? Yes. Okay, let's look into it here. We did look into this last week. All right, so right now it's still bearish because the TA is not there. The technicals aren't really there. Technology is solid. Fundamentals could be better. If we go to the technical analysis, so looking at the oscillators and the EMA, nothing bullish at all. I'm seeing the Ichimoku is bullish, but in terms of the other technical analysis indicators, nothing really bullish. So that's why Tokenmetrics isn't bullish on synthetics. Now, this has been one of the best performing cryptocurrencies of this year, this and Chainlink. So it's definitely on the radar, because if you go to our ratings here and look at purely just the technology, synthetics is top 10 in technology. So better than Cosmos, on the same level as Cardano. So it's definitely one to keep on a watch list. So I think a good time for this would be when the technicals turn bullish. That would be, because then the score would probably get it into top 10, because it's at a 69. All right, next question. What do you think about the BTC halving that is to come? So the Bitcoin halving. Very, very good question. You know what? To be honest, I don't know. Not the answer you may want to hear, but nobody really knows. Everybody's saying, because you have two schools of thoughts. People are saying, oh, crypto is going to the moon because the halving will decrease the supply, it will be more scarce. Then you have people saying that it's already priced in. So what is one to believe? I mean, I would say don't use it as an indicator. Don't rely on that for any of your investment strategy, whether long-term investing or trading. And I would say rely on the fundamentals, on the technology, and the technical analysis. All three combined into one. That's why we built Tokenmetrics, and we give you the holistic score, the overall score, but we also give you the subset of those scores. So I would say, for me personally, I would just rely on that than trying to be event-driven, because event-driven trading or investing, especially in crypto, for the average retail investor, is you're going to get wrecked. I mean, let's just be honest. Unless you have a fund and you have lots of resources to really do the research on this, it's very, very tough to do. Even in regular markets on Wall Street, it's tough to have an event-driven investment strategy. Now, for us, we don't really do any event-driven strategies. I mean, in the past, I have tried to speculate on events, and for the most part, it's never really turned out profitable. I mean, even when you're right, you can still lose money, because as the old saying this goes, the market can be wrong longer than you can stay insolvent. So just because you're right doesn't mean you'll make money. And the old adage is true as well: buy the rumors, sell the news. So, but now even that's not working anymore in crypto. So in the last year or two, that isn't really working anymore, because everybody anticipates that everybody else is going to buy the rumor and sell the news. So they buy even earlier and even earlier and earlier, to a point where it's not really a leading indicator anymore. So I would say don't depend on that. Don't depend on any event-driven investment strategy. Just do the research, right? Hardcore research. And that gives you a better perspective, in my opinion, in terms of how to invest. So looking at the halving, I would just do the research on Bitcoin, which we've done already at Tokenmetrics. So fundamentals are solid, technologies are solid, and the only other factor that really changes much are the technical analysis. So I would say if the TA turns bullish at that time, then yes. If it goes bearish, then no. So that's really my answer to that question. But let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Let me take some comments here from YouTube. Hey, what's up, Amaris? Thanks for joining. Ivan, what's up? Do you know if your picks back in the day beat the waste ratings picks? I haven't looked into the waste ratings picks in a while. Okay, let me just see if there are any other questions here from the comments. Will Cardano take over Ethereum? I don't think so. Not really. Hey, Dragon Ball Crypto, what price do you think Ethereum can go with the adoption of DeFi? I mean, Ethereum can go to the moon, but price-wise, it's hard to predict next 10 years. All we can do is predict in the next 30 days. And that's what we have on Tokenmetrics. Okay, AMD making me some moolah. Nice, nice. ADA predictions. So predictions for Cardano. Where's Cardano? Down here. Okay, Cardano. Cardano right now, it's technical is not quite there, but getting there. Technology is solid, fundamentals decent. 30-day price predictions. Okay, wow, the last month has been 95% accurate. Okay, that I did not know. Very interesting. And the prediction is saying it's not really going to move much. Yes, it's saying, hold on, is this right? 3 cents. Yeah, so pretty much it's going sideways, Cardano. That's the prediction from Tokenmetrics. But everything else, for the most part, is pretty much the same. Fundamentals decent, technology solid. All right, back over here. Is ICX officially dead? No. I mean, we already answered this question on a few live streams. The technicals are not there, but the fundamentals, or rather the technology, is still solid. Let's see here, ICX icon. Technology is there. Fundamentals definitely could be better. Technical is not quite there. If we go to technical analysis here. Okay, 200 EMA is bullish, and so is the 9-day EMA. Everything else is neutral. Ichimoku is bullish. So, okay, sorry, hold up. Okay, here it's showing bullish. Okay, yeah, so sorry guys. I know this has been confusing some people. So this is bearish when it says the overall grade. This is something our team is going to work on commenting here. But technicals, it's doing all right. If we go to price prediction, oof, okay, yeah, that's not looking good. So basically, not bullish in the next 30 days on Icon, according to Token Metrics. The accuracy has been about 85% in the last month and over the last few months as well. So hope that helps. Okay, we've kind of already answered this question. Do you think that HTML5 blockchain engine and platform have a future? For example, Egretia? I don't think we have scored Egretia in here. I think we only have the technical in here. Well, actually we do. Okay, my bad. So technology, let's check out the technology for Egretia. So innovation is just mediocre. Architecture, medium. Code quality is not so good. Okay, let's see here. They use good code. It's open source. GitHub, they have less than 10 commits per month, so not really adding much to it. Not many lines of code, but the quality of the code is good. They're doing a bad job with code commenting and test coverage and their maintainability index. They do have a mainnet. They have less than 3 active developers. That is a concern for their blockchain. And their GitHub background is average. The coding style is very poor. Once again, this is the official tech code review from Paresh, our blockchain developer from Goldman Sachs and worked with JP Morgan and Barclays. Now, the fundamentals did atrocious here. I'm not sure if we finished the fundamentals. Okay, yeah, fundamentals score has not been finished yet. So that's why. Okay, so if we go back here, so ignore the fundamentals, it's not finished, but the technology score is not so good. And the technical analysis is actually bullish on the TA. I'm seeing here mainly the Ichimoku and the 9-day EMA, the stochastic and MACD are bullish. So, I mean, to answer your question, long-term, not so bullish on Egretia. This is just purely based on the code review. Because with a score that low, it would be hard for it to score well in the other. It'll be hard for it to score well overall because the code score hasn't scored so well. Thoughts about BitMax price long-term? It was losing value for the past few months. Do you think now is a good time to enter a position? Well, if you're going to get into BitMax long-term, that would be a concern. Because if we open up BitMax here, okay, so we don't, okay, our team is looking into this. I do know somebody did request this last week for us to look into, so, but purely based on the technicals, the TA is bearish. All the EMAs are neutral, nothing bullish on the EMA. And then the Ichimoku is all neutral. And the candlestick patterns are bearish. We have a bearish spinning top and the tweezer top, whatever that is. But yeah, so to answer your question, right now, long term, can't really comment on it until we have an official fundamental and technology review. So can't really mention on the long term, but looking at the TA is based on a weekly time frame. Weekly time frame, it's bearish. So if you kind of use that as your guide, me personally, I don't think I'll be getting into it now for a long-term position. Do you think the halving is already priced in for Bitcoin? So we kind of answered this earlier. It's hard to tell. So we won't really know until a month or two away from the halving, which is predicted for May 2020. So I would say February, March would have a bit better idea. But for me, I'll be going purely based on what tokenmetrics.com says. So whatever the TA says, if it says it's bullish on the month of the halving, I'll go with that. If it says it's bearish, I'll go with that. I mean, that's why we spend money building the platform. So it can help us with things like this. So, but just looking at Bitcoin right now, it was bullish, I believe. Yeah, so right now, Tokenmetrics is bullish on Bitcoin. So as of today, as of December 29th, 2019, bullish. Okay, let me see. We have 9 more questions to go. Wow. Let me see if any of them are questions we've already answered. All right. NPX is probably the most underevaluated crypto project. What do you think about the current price? Not sure what you mean by under-evaluated. It's been pretty popular because it was top 50 in market cap for a while. Now I think it's out of top 50, but it was there for a bit. PNDX, let's take a look here. I think we should have this in the system. So fundamentals are good. Technology, not so good. Technical analysis is all right. So if we go to technology, so it's a standard ERC20 token. Let's see here. So innovation is mediocre, architecture, medium, code quality. Okay, yeah, because it's not open source. Our developer who's done the code review says he thinks it could use a better programming language. They have less than 10 GitHub commits per month, less than 10,000 lines of code. The quality of the code is bad quality, according to him. Yes, this is not a good endorsing code review. The developer background is junior on GitHub, less than 3 active developers. The coding style is poor. So yeah, so technology-wise, it did not score so well, but fundamentals, it did score decently. Let's see here. Okay, team can be better. So let's see here. Liquidity could be better. Marketing, it did all right on that. Reputation, let's see, reputation. They didn't have any reputable early investors in terms of crypto funds. Okay, I see here it's proof of work. And how many nodes? Over 500 nodes on the network. Okay, yeah, so I mean, so going back to your question, I mean, I think it's the swan song of PNDX, guys. I mean, this is coming as somebody, PNDX was my most profitable investment in 2018. That, I mean, that PNDX was that airdrop that kept on giving. It kept on giving. I mean, it did what? Over, at the peak, it was over 15, 20x, then you add on the airdrop. I mean, we banked. 20x made 2018 a good year, meaning that we didn't lose money for those who were in 20x, NPXS. But now they've moved on as well. They have Function X project, and they're doing the 20x blockchain phone and others. I mean, I'm friends with Zach, the CEO, a good guy. So Zach, if you're watching this, please don't take any offense to the code review, but we have to just tell it as it is and keep things objective and transparent with the platform we're building. So what do I think about the current price? I mean, me personally, I don't own any PNDX and don't have any plans to, especially with this current score. I think I'll probably have to look into Function X, the other project. I don't think we have that in the site. Actually, maybe we have just the technicals, I believe. Yeah, so we don't have the code review or the fundamentals on this. So, I mean, long term, I would say it's not for me. So this kind of very quick summary on PNDX. Just going back to what to buy with your profits, always remember, money cannot buy poverty. Yeah, I mean, take profits. Cash is king. Nobody ever went broke taking profits. But so many people went broke not taking profits. Cash is king. All right. You've mentioned token metrics indexes such as the token metrics Moon Bear. Have you taken a look at FTX Exchange as a partner for your indexes? They're killing it and offer some of the best contracts I've seen. Yes, I am aware of FTX Exchange. A friend of mine was working with them. So maybe down the line, we may partner with exchanges like those to create derivatives or indices that people can trade. But we'll get there once we're ready. We're now still in the early phases. But we think that's really the value of what we're trying to create, because not everybody wants to do research all the time, and that's something we realize. So people can outsource the research to us and say, hey, we want to create an index of the top 10 highest rated cryptocurrencies on token metrics. So for example, right now our top 10 has Bitcoin, Ethereum, Blockstack, Dash, Zcash, Binance, Eternity, Matic, Zilliqa, and Maker. But Matic and Zilliqa were not in the top 10 last week. They're in the top 15. But now, based on the TA, those scores have went up. So for example, if we had an index that added Matic and those two, and then what dropped? I think Decred dropped out and some others. So this is constant musical chairs. And the average investor doesn't have time for this. So with the indices, we could do that for them, and they just own it's kind of like a proxy to an ETF. Everybody's talking about ETFs. We could do the same thing with the index, and we could even create indexes for fundamental grades, for technology grades, for IEOs. I mean, the moon is not the limit, to the moon and beyond. And that's what we're working on. Stay tuned. We think this is something that people are going to love. If you like that feature, be sure to make your voice heard. Go to feedback.tokenmetrics.com. I see here people like the FOMO index, and what is the other one? Thought I had it somewhere here. Okay, I guess let me go back. So the most requested features. Okay. Index fund based on grades. So right now, people haven't requested this quite yet. It has gained 2 votes since we last covered it. But maybe we merge the two, FOMO index, because people are requesting creating an index based on sentiment that tells you whether we're bullish or bearish on the market. Now, this could really be derived off of the indexes based on the grades as well. So all these are different things we're working on. Definitely open to more feedback, so definitely keep us updated on that. Okay. Do you think Cardano will take over Ethereum? No, not right now. So Ethereum for us has a score of 83.5%. Cardano is a 74%. So if we compare this, we see fundamentals on Cardano 72, Ethereum 90, Ethereum technology is 98%, Cardano is 87%. So we don't really expect Cardano to ever surpass Ethereum unless the fundamentals drastically change and the technology changes as well. The technology is solid, so but it's not as good in our opinion compared to Ethereum. And let me just open up Cardano here and drill into it some more. So fundamentals, areas it could improve upon are scarcity could improve, market standing. So they don't really have any customers or users in our opinion, based on the research we've looked into, besides just speculators, basically. And they aren't really leading the pack in their field. Ethereum is still king of the hill in terms of smart contracts and blockchains. Then development wise, okay, let me go back here. Liquidity could be better. Marketing is good. Reputation is good. The team's decent, very good. Security could be better. If we go here, I mean, because proof of stake versus proof of work, so kind of versus Bitcoin, and they have 400 to 500 nodes on the network last time we looked into it. But if we go to the technology, it scored very well. Team usability, mainnet, code quality, all that is good. The innovation is, other projects have performed pretty well. Innovations are decent. The project is unique in what they're trying to do. It's not too complex. So, I mean, technology is good, but it's not quite Ethereum level. So to answer your question, do you think it will overtake Ethereum? Not at this point in time, not anytime soon. All those fundamentals and technologies parts would have to improve as well for it to surpass Ethereum long term. Okay, if ETH 2.0 becomes real, it's like releasing Internet 2.0. It's like putting a price to the internet. If ETH 2.0 really happens, probably you can reach 10K or 20K in the next 5 years. What do you think? In terms of the price of Ethereum, I mean, I don't know, but I mean, I'm not gonna go quite there yet, but we are very, very optimistic and bullish on Ethereum long term. So going back to tokenmetrics.com, let's put in Ethereum. Bullish. I mean, that's simple. Right now, Tokenmetrics is bullish on Ethereum. Fundamentals, technology, good. Technical analysis is getting better. And I mean, the sky is the limit. Being quant resistant, quantum computing resistance, and everything else. Be sure to check out the report we emailed out 2 weeks ago if you received it. If you didn't receive it and you're on the hodler plan or above, just contact customer support and we can email that to you as well. But I mean, very, very optimistic. I mean, if anything, Ethereum 2.0, 2020 could be a very good year for Ethereum, just based on ETH 2.0, which means it could be good for altcoins. But then again, yeah, people are saying the recession and everything. I mean, who knows? But overall, what happens with Ethereum? Because altcoins move the way Ethereum goes. So if there's a bull market with Ethereum, if Ethereum goes up to 10x, some of that money has to flow into altcoins is my reasoning. Do you think Matic will perform well in 2020 or 2021? I mean, guys, all these questions can be answered on tokenmetrics.com. So if we go here, Matic network, right now we're neutral. So we would say the technicals would have to change, but we think they will change. It's just a matter of time. When they do change, Matic will definitely be one to have a good year in 2020. But right now it is in the top 20. So if we had to create like a top 20 index based on just pure ratings, based on overall grade, Matic is in the top 10. So meaning that it's one of the 10 coins we would hold if we had a balanced portfolio that had up to 10 cryptocurrencies. Matic would be in it, which means that very optimistic for 2020. Off-topic question: what do you use on your face to clear it up? I don't really use anything, guys. I just wash my face with soap. Now, I have been told I have like just naturally good skin, but I mean, I don't really think much about it, guys. Unfortunately, I just use soap. I use all kinds of soap. It varies. I think it's mainly to do with just good genes. So not quite the answer you might have been looking for. In terms of soaps that I do use, they vary. I use anything from like body wash, Dove body wash. This is totally off topic question. Outside of that, recently I have been using Dettol soap. It's like this really strong soap. Sometimes I use that. It's very common in Africa and in other parts of the world. It's kind of like one of those strong soaps that has a strong smell that doctors would almost prescribe to people. But yeah, other than that, I just every time I brush my teeth, I usually wash my face as well. And that's about it. I mean, I am kind of part-time vegan. Maybe that's it, but I'm not trying to convert anybody to veganism, but it has worked wonders for me as well. I'm not sure if that has anything to do with that. But anyway, back to the AMA. Let me find my screen, if I can find my screen here, guys. Bear with me. Your thought about NEO and price prediction. Okay, NEO's over here. Put on some music here. Right now, bearish on NEO. Now, when we say bearish, this is kind of long-term perspective, but just because it's bearish doesn't mean it's bearish forever and ever. It could change in the next week or two based on if the technicals go up. But price prediction is 72% in last month for NEO. So it's predicting pretty much it's going sideways in a sideways channel in the next 30 days or so. Now, do realize there's an issue with this that will be updated soon. So that is updating every rolling 30 days. But yeah, it's saying it's going to be between 11 and $6, but the prediction is about $8.87. So looking at the current price is $9.18. So let me go back here. Okay, so this was the prediction from the 19th. So it was pretty close. It had like 9:15 over here. So that was yesterday. Wow. So then today's like 9:07. So the prediction has been pretty close. That's the power of machine learning. So hopefully that gives you a better perspective on what we think of the price of NEO in the next 30 days. Okay, can you check what is Fusion FSN? Yes, let's look into Fusion. Okay, we don't have the code review, and fundamentals I don't think is done yet, so we can't really do much. But let's look at the price prediction. Okay, we don't have one yet, unfortunately. I will have to look into that with my team and see why we don't have price prediction for this. Hold on, let me send my team. It's just. Sorry, guys. Sending our machine learning engineer to check into this, because they should be automatic. Okay, all right. So next question. You need support with your subscription? What do you mean? Like as in a free subscription? We did give those out already. If you're talking about just support or help, okay, then that I understand. If you need support, just go to Tokenmetrics, whether here or the site, contact, and then just hit us up here, send a message with whatever question you may have, or just even search. Maybe you can help yourself. So, for example, subscription. So we have lots of, whether you have a question on how to subscribe, the pricing, what have you. We have a full help section here with lots of different guides and tips as well. And one of the things we're most proud of with the support, we've been responding to people in less than 3 hours on average. And we've been closing tickets in less than 12 hours. So less than half a day. So, I mean, because if you respond, either you typically hear back from me or Ryan, and I'm very, very active on there, helping people answer any questions they have. So whatever question you have, just contact us there, okay? What is the best method, most private and best exchange to buy ETH and Bitcoin for a newbie? Well, I mean, I can't really answer the question about most private, because most private is probably just OTC, over the counter, buying from a human, but that could also be risky if you're buying from a stranger. Because I've heard lots of stories of people getting scammed on local Bitcoins or some other platform, or just even somebody. So be careful about OTC deals, because here are the scams that could happen for newbies. Somebody, actually, this even happened to a friend of mine who's a professional investor. He met up somebody, they gave him money. No, they transferred money to his bank account, and he sent them Bitcoin. This wasn't somebody he met, but somebody he found on localbitcoin.com. Then, as soon as he sent the Bitcoin, this person reversed the wire transfer. So he called his bank and said, hold up. I
said, hold up, wait a minute, something ain't right.
Just had to hit that. So he basically called up the bank and said, reverse the transaction. And obviously with Bitcoin, you can't reverse the transaction. So this person got his money back and kept the Bitcoin. I've heard so many stories about that happening in crypto. So OTC deals, be very, very careful with that. Now, you may have DEXs and such, but those don't really have the liquidity. And for a newbie, you're probably going to get you definitely get confused with DEXs and how to use them. So, I mean, really the best method, in my opinion, are centralized exchanges like Coinbase, Gemini, very, very easy to buy Bitcoin or Ethereum. Not the most private because they do KYC, AML, but I mean, that's something that's really needed. And I think that's really the best. I mean, that's what I use. So I don't really do OTC deals. For a newbie, you got to be careful. I mean, because you could even get robbed doing OTC deals. Or if you ever do OTC deals in person, always meet in a public location, like in a Starbucks or police station. Because just like with doing anything on the internet, kind of like with Craigslist, people could rob you for your crypto or your money. So always be careful. Or they could even be nice, do the transaction, but then after that secretly follow you and jump you, so not to be pessimistic, but definitely be careful. All right, next question. We already answered this about Function X and PinDX. What benefits can we get as early subscribers to Token Metrics in comparison to those who come later? Well, good question. Well, but benefit is you get 50% off forever and ever. That's lifetime. So if you go to subscription, so that if you sign up for the annual plan, the yearly plan, you get half off. So this is not going to be here forever and ever. Obviously, we're running a business and we have to make profit, even in a bear market. So long term, this discount is going to increase to eventually where there'll be no discount. So if you lock in now, you lock in that discount as a lifetime discount for the rest of your life. So 1 year from now, even 10 years from now, you'll still have that discount for being an early supporter. So that's really the value in it. And then, I mean, all the other benefits of just using the platform to find profitable investments and filter out scams. And then if you do get in early now and you plan to upgrade to future plans, you'll always have that discount with you. So let's say you're just starting out, you join the free plan, because this plan won't be free for long. So most likely next month, so basically in 2020, so either January, most likely, or maybe even later, not sure yet, but basically sometime in 2020, this won't be free anymore. This was only free for the first 1,000 people. And we're getting close to hitting that cap. So after we hit that cap, it'll be basically $10 a month. So if you get in now, you have the basic plan free for life. So then if you start to make money on Bitcoin or the top 20, you have all these other plans as you progress in your crypto journey. You have all these other plans at half off forever and ever. So that's the benefit. But very good question. Can you check KNC, a DeFi project? Is that Kyber? That sounds like Kyber, I believe. KNC. Yeah, Kyber Network. Let's take a look here. Okay, so we don't have this in the system for code review or fundamentals. TA is bullish. Okay, I see the first index, MACD, Williams, some Ishimoku. 200-day EMA is bullish, and so is the 9-day. Okay, and let's take a look here. Okay, no price prediction for that. But overall, though, I would say stay tuned once we have an official review on the other stuff. But on the TA looks bullish based on the 7-day weekly price action. Thoughts on unstoppable domains? I have looked into it a while back. They actually did reach out to me, wanted me to work with them, but it wasn't really for me. Crypto domains, yeah, I mean, it could be a thing. I haven't really gotten onto the bandwagon quite yet. I mean, I still like .com domains, but hey, some people find it valuable, so more power to them. Thank you for being you, Ian. When you do your TM Top 10 ETF, is it going to be open to all your Tokenmetrics subscribers? I feel very lucky being able to use Tokenmetrics. Thank you, Ian. Nat Desirburn. Hey, thank you, Matt. Thank you. I appreciate it. Crypto family in the house. So yes, I mean, we are looking into creating the Tokenmetrics indices. When we create it, initially, it will be just for the subscribers. So just for people on tokenmetrics.com, we'll have access to it. Then eventually, maybe we'll look into making it open to exchanges and other partners, possibly. So whether it's FTX, Binance, what have you. So stay tuned, stay tuned. And right now it's too early to really comment much on it, so don't want to speculate. But we think this is really the next wave of where things are going. And this is how we can offer more value to our subscribers on Tokenmetrics. And we're very, very excited about this because this really gives you the edge passively without having to monitor crypto 24/7. And that's a huge value add to crypto investors, because having the best research, in our opinion, and then giving that to people and letting them partake in it via an index without having to bother with the rebalancing and everything, that's huge. That's huge. So that's what we're working towards. So thank you for that. Are you going to start a crypto fund for the Tokenmetrics professional investors? Unfortunately, I cannot comment on this due to SEC regulations. So this is in no way, shape, or form us soliciting any investors. So all I can say is no comment. And but if you do want to subscribe to Tokenmetrics Professional, you may do so today by going here and signing up. This is so, and Tokenmetrics Professional, this is everything in the investor plan, plus we have unlimited access to all the TA, the fundamental and code reviews for projects in our platform, and access to our private investor network. Right now it's growing very, very strong. We have professional investors, traders, developers, entrepreneurs, people launching crypto funds. We have 2 people on there launching 2 crypto funds. We also do bi-weekly investor calls, webinars, video chats, and we also record those if you can't make it, so you can watch. Those are calls about an hour long that we don't post anywhere publicly. So I think this is the most value available in the plan, and lots of people have been taking advantage of that. And if you also join, you also do get a chance to talk to me as kind of like an onboarding call for about 15 minutes, just to kind of get to know each other. But yeah, I mean, we think this is very, very undervalued at this price. That's why we plan to end the discount soon, especially for this one. But yeah, I mean, if you plan to join that, definitely let me know. Our team will be there to help you. I'll be there to help you as well. And yeah. Hey, great to see you're fully active again. Are you still bullish on Celsius Network? It's currently ramping up. What are your thoughts on it? I'm not so bullish on the token, but on the platform itself, yes, I'm bullish. I don't think we have. Yes, we don't have it in here. But on the platform itself, I am bullish, right? So Celsius. Why is it showing? So for lending, I think it's one of the better platforms out there for lending. And it's the one I did look into. I did create an account on there, but I haven't yet used it. I haven't really done any lending, any stablecoin lending, but I did like it because of their stablecoin lending rates. If I can find it somewhere. So Bitcoin is 4.55%. Actually, no. So you can lend either with just the regular token or with their own Celsius token. I wouldn't use a Celsius token because it's illiquid. So Bitcoin is 2.5%. I was looking into it for the Gemini dollar because he gets 7.4%. Before it was 8%, I believe. I guess that's changed. But let's see, DAI, because we are bullish on DAI. Let me see if they have DAI in here. They don't have DAI? Thought they had Bitcoin. They have True USD, Paxos. Okay, here it is. So DAI is only 3.75%. Yeah, that is pretty low. Now I say DAI because out of the stablecoins we are looking at, DAI is the best one so far. The technicals are not there at this point. Hold on. Yeah, I think DAI is the best stablecoin we've looked at. Technology-wise, it's an 80. But I mean, for the other currencies as well. So if we go back here, because if you're, the whole point of stablecoin lending is to beat inflation and to hedge and make some money on the money you have laying dormant. So if you have stablecoin like Tether or what have you, rather than just keeping that in your portfolio and losing money on inflation, you lend it out and you get some money back. But here, based on this, Gemini Dollar had the best rate for a stablecoin. So that's the one I was looking at. I see USD coin here as well. Okay, Tether. Tether has 8.2%. But Tether isn't, we aren't so bullish on Tether. Now, we do plan to make changes on our rating system specifically for stablecoins because, for example, if we pull up Tether here, it is somewhat, because stablecoins don't really need TA. So we're thinking of just taking away the TA on stablecoins and just having them based purely on fundamentals and technology. So that's something we are looking into. So stay tuned on that. All right. Actually, let's get the next question here. Hi, do you know a good site for BTC exchange to PayPal? I tried to exchange my first $50, but they scammed me and I lost everything. Now I need to start at the beginning now. Sorry that happened to you. That's very unfortunate. Definitely not get scammed. For PayPal, you know what? I don't really know. I haven't really seen any platform, or rather used any platform myself where you can buy or sell with PayPal. So yeah, I don't really know. So I can't really answer your question. I would just try to Google and read third-party reviews. Let me see. So exchanging Bitcoin to PayPal. I mean, yeah, it seems something more like an OTC deal where you just find somebody you know and trust who wants to buy Bitcoin and you sell them and they send money to your PayPal. But yeah, it's going to be very tough to do that. All right, so that's that for questions over there. Now let's go to questions from all your different platforms here. Let's see here. Yes, that ETF is going to be a huge advantage, essentially, and exponentially higher returns. We will be walking on all the market tops instead of watching our coins going down. Man, that would be good. I mean, what a time to be alive if that happens.
Questioning myself.
All right. Right. Do you believe? Are you a believer? As a student, I have the basic plan. Will I still be able to get 50% off when I'm ready to move up? Yes, crypto vegan, absolutely. If you lock in your plan now, you'll be able to move up to future plans with the same discount. What do you think of Quant? Do you think they will succeed with interoperability among blockchains? I don't think we've looked into Quant fully. Let me see. Actually, we have looked into it. All right, so let me share my screen here. Okay, so very bearish at this point. Fundamentals, not so good. Technology, not good. TA is not good. So right at this point in time, not bullish on Quant. Thoughts on HBAR, Chainlink, and Tezos? Hey, Neil, welcome. I did our Hashgraph. So we did submit into Tokenmetrics. So those who are subscribed did see this a while back. Fundamentals, decent. Technology is good. TA is not quite there, but all in all, it's not too shabby. Can be better. So I would say right now it's hold off until the TAs get better. But after that, then I think it's definitely one to put on the watch list. Okay. All right, but anyway, guys, I think that's been over 2 hours, 2 hours of long, worthwhile information. If you guys like this video, I definitely recommend you subscribe to tokenmetrics.com. Just go to tokenmetrics.com here, sign up, 14-day trial. Actually, let me go back to the beginning. All right, sign up here for the trial. We've also added some new videos. So here at the end, we have about an hour long, I'd say about 45-minute long video walking through the value proposition of tokenmetrics, right? Because once again, machines are taking over investing. And if you want to compete with quant funds, you have to have the tools and resources. And rather than building your own, we're built a platform and made it accessible to the average investor. So we have this video. It was also on my channel. I think most of you did see the.
My name is Ian Belina.
But so far so good. People like the video. So if you guys like this kind of videos, let me know. We'll put more in the description. Then if you go to features, we also have a video walking you through how to use tokenmetrics.
Tokenmetrics is a cryptocurrency investment.
So we go through and kind of walk you through how to use. It's a quick tour, about 10 minutes long. People have been asking for that as well. The tour should also be available in the help section. Yes, so if you can just click here, you can also access that same tour, giving you a guide on how to use tokenmetrics. And we also created a guided VIP tour. So whenever you log into tokenmetrics, the first time, you should get a guide by me walking you through how to use tokenmetrics. That's something that people have been asking for, and we've made that available as well. And once again, thank you everybody for all the support. Use the coupon code CryptoFamily, one word, all caps, to get 10% off on tokenmetrics on all the paid plans. Excuse me, 10% off. That's out there. That coupon might be ending as well. That was a coupon we made for December. Not sure if we're going to continue that for next month. So if you do plan to use it, highly recommend you use that very quickly before the year is up. Now, with that being said, I wish everybody a happy new year in 2020. I mean, it's been a hell of a ride. 2019, 2018, 2017, but we are still here. We're still here. We landed on the moon in a Lambo in 2017. Some of us did it in 2018. Not everybody did it in 2019, but more importantly, we're here to help you land on the moon in 2020. That's why we built Tokenmetrics. That's why we're trying to offer as much value as possible, because the moon is not the limit. To the moon and beyond. Happy New Year, everybody. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.